What's going on, everybody? Another episode of Flow State with yours truly, Harry Mack. Very excited to have this special guest with me today, somebody who I'm a huge fan of, and somebody who makes incredible content. If you guys are not familiar, please make sure you go check it out. We'll have his links in the description. And But this is somebody who came across my feed and creates content that just spreads an incredible amount of joy and is also just, you can't look away from it because it's so well executed. And dude, so excited to have you on here. Ladies and gentlemen and human beings of Earth, the great, the one and only, the illustrious Josh Harmon. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Harry. It's so good to meet you. I'm so excited for this. Yeah, likewise. I'm a huge fan. Your stuff is incredible.
Thank you,
It's
man.
just so cool to get to chat.
This is for my flow state. Add it, yeah. Kyle know we back at it. Ain't it crazy how the mind works magic? We gon' show you the method behind the madness, 'cause this is for my
Dude, very cool to get to chat. I'm actually really excited for this. I think you came across I think it was my Instagram feed. I can't remember when, but a while back, and I remember seeing, you drumming along with like comedians in the beginning, and was just immediately into it. I'm a drummer myself, so seeing that and the way that you were doing it, and we'll watch some of it a little later on because you guys need to see this and check this out. But I was immediately blown away, and when I was doing research, for this conversation and getting to know a little bit more about you, I was sort of like shocked by how many parallels there were between your journey and mine, at least on paper.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy. I kept saying to myself, like, that's amazing. This resonates with me so much. So anyway, very excited to have you on here and talk with you. And I guess before we get into it, like for our audience, can you kind of describe what it is that you do? I guess especially like with the sound effects stuff, and because I tell people it's like live Foley.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what is Foley? Like most people I say that to, they're like, I've never even heard of that. Do you use that word to describe it? And what exactly is that for those who don't know?
Yeah, so the term that I've derived to come up with it is, or the way I describe it, I call it the drum comedy.
Yes.
It's just a way to sort of sum it up.
Yeah.
Foley is the art of creating sound effects for movies and television and video games after the fact.
Yeah.
So sometimes on a set, things don't sound exactly the way you want them to. You hire someone to then in a studio use different props, sometimes props that have nothing to do with what's actually going on, but it sounds like it.
Right.
And that's the art of it.
Yeah.
I didn't study Foley. I didn't even know what Foley was,
Right.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a whole sort of backdoor story of how I ended up doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the way I do the sound effects is not how someone would actually do it for a major motion picture or a proper cartoon.
Yeah.
I have my own sort of performance way of doing it, and it's kind of silly and it's fun, so I call it drum comedy.
I love it. Dude, it's so amazing, man. My thing is when I'm watching your videos, I have to watch them at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it's too much to process all at once. Like the first time when I first saw it, the Foley stuff or the sound effects stuff, the drum comedy.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, it took me a second to realize what was happening first and foremost. And then I was like, oh, this is amazing. These sound effects are coming from you live and they're perfectly matched to the video. But then I was just like toggling too much back and forth between you and the video. So I was like, let me watch this back and just watch you. Then let me watch it back and just watch the video. And then let me watch it back another time and try to like process all of it at once. Is that like a common thing that you hear from people about your content?
Definitely. It's also intentional.
Yeah, really.
Everything in the videos is by design.
Yeah.
I want people to watch it multiple times.
Yeah.
That'll help it get distributed, and also people spending more time in the videos is nice. Spend a little more time with me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's the idea. Also, the way I have it laid out, I have it so that when you open up the comment section, like to write a comment, it covers me, and you can just watch the clip. And then if you want to watch it full screen, so that like to give people the option of like how they want to watch it. That's something I think about a lot too, is how the video appears in the actual social media player.
Right.
And I think about that when I choose my setups or the clothes that I wear. All of it is thought out in advance.
Dude, it's amazing, man. I'm so excited for people to hear that because I think like the amount of detail that goes into making what you make and I guess making really like any truly great piece of content, I think is lost on a lot of people. And even myself, like watching your content, there are so many things that are happening that I'm not aware of that you've put so much thought into.
To a fault. The videos take me days and days to make, just one.
Yeah. I mean, but dude, I think that might be what it takes, you know? Like, and I feel like the response speaks for itself. Like your content, I can say, has been viewed billions of times, right? Mm-hmm. That is accurate.
Yeah.
Multiple billions.
Yeah.
Dude, and I didn't even have to I didn't read that anywhere. I just went on TikTok and looked at the shorts and looked at the average view. I was like, okay, well, we've got to 1 billion right there, I think.
It's really nuts. I mean, I'm just making these videos in my basement.
Yeah.
And I also started doing them during COVID, so I was not going out in public ever.
Yeah.
All this starts happening, the videos start getting all this traction. I get better at making it, so the videos start doing better, and I'm leveling up with that.
Yeah.
I emerged from my COVID den into a new reality where people recognize me on the street.
Yeah.
It's still bizarre to me. It's so cool. I mean, anywhere I go, even when I'm traveling around the world, in France, I was in South Africa. So
yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I love your videos.
So dope.
It's really wild.
Yeah.
But it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
That people of all different types all over the world
yes.
can enjoy the content, and it's just like you said, it spreads joy, and that's really meaningful to me.
Absolutely, dude. Well, it's completely deserved, man, and I mean, what you're doing is so dope, and it does spread so much joy. Like when I see your videos, I feel like a sense of joy in myself, and I also feel like that comes from this sort of contagious fact that you are so clearly enjoying what you're doing. At least that's how it looks. I don't know if that's always how it feels.
Yeah, right.
But that sort of comes through. It's like this childlike kind of joy that's coming through the screen. Is that true? Do you feel as joyful as I feel like you feel when I watch you?
The bombshell report. Yeah, I really enjoy making the videos.
Yeah.
And it does fill my cup to do this unique thing on this instrument I've always loved my whole life, and to feel like, oh wow, I've sort of found my weird little voice. It's always a good feeling.
Yes.
There is an element, I do think about my expression a lot in the videos.
Yeah.
All of it is sort of pre-planned out. I'm very intentional about everything.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier, I approach the Josh that's in the videos as like a character.
Yeah.
So I have a particular set of clothes that I wear, and that's the wardrobe, the costume for the Josh that's in the videos.
Yes.
And if you scroll through it, there's 5 different t-shirts that I wear, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I always wear the same pair of pants.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps me get into that zone of childlike wonder.
Yeah.
Being really curious about things. These are parts of my real personality.
Right.
But in costume, it just gets heightened a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I find that to be really healthy, because I can also then take that costume off, put on a different outfit or whatever.
Yeah.
And not have to be so over the top with it.
Yeah.
Granted, with all the videos, I'm doing 50, 60, 70 takes until I get it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a lot. I mean, I also
Damn.
hold it to a high standard. I want to nail it, and I also don't want to have to be doing overdubs or anything. I want to really do it live,
right,
and really nail it right on with the sync being perfect.
Yeah.
So when I do get it right, and I know that I've nailed it, it feels great, and I smile. I can't help it,
Yeah. Okay, that's so cool that you mentioned that, because I feel the celebratory reaction at the end too.
Yeah.
There's an extra, yes, you're smiling the whole time, and that is the character of Josh Harmon, and that's how you want to present it.
Yeah.
And I get that, but then I do also see sometimes you break a little bit in the last second almost.
Yeah.
Right? I see you laugh, and I'm like, oh, that's the joy of, it's almost like hitting the trick shot or whatever.
That's exactly how I think about it, because I'm doing all the sounds in one take.
Yeah.
Continuously.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend this to anyone.
Yeah.
But it is like doing a trick shot.
Yeah.
To nail the things in time. It's like a feat. It's a physical feat.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre, but it feels great when I'm just I did it.
Dude,
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing because it is so perfect. That's the thing about your videos, is that it's so on point. And I feel like I have so many things I want to mention. First, before we go further,
Sure.
I do want to say the part about the character resonates with me so much. Having that, you being able to, like you say, kind of put that costume or uniform on, right? And then you show up as that person for the camera. It's very similar for me. It resonates a lot because in many ways, like Harry Mack is not the same as Harry Mackenzie, you know, which is my real name. So it's like, and in some ways for me, it's almost like I've outsourced my like ego or my confidence in a way. It's like Harry Mack, the character, is totally cool walking up to strangers on the street and being like, hey, can I freestyle for you? You know? And then doing this like freestyle that's like this boastful freestyle often of like, yeah, I'm the shit, you know, like I'm so dope and here's why, and I'm showing you why I'm dope, you know, and you should get on board with this. But like Harry Mackenzie doesn't wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, I'm the shit, you know, like I'm gonna go do that. I'm actually quite shy and introverted. So a lot of the time, you know, and for me, it's been really helpful to create that character. So I relate to that so much. And I loved what you said about being able to take the uniform off and kind of go back to, you know, whoever you are when you're off camera.
A total dick.
Yeah, exactly. Not happy about
being
anything.
A complete
ever.
asshole. Yeah. Just a curmudgeon.
Yes.
Sad.
Yeah.
No,
There's no smiles in real life.
No. Yeah. That's why it rains when I come to LA. I'm sad.
You
energy.
brought. Oh wow. You brought. I was wondering about that. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
wow.
me. I'm sorry.
Oh
but,
wow.
Yeah, definitely. And like I mentioned before, those are aspects that are in your person. Like you
Yes.
are so talented, and it's just a way for you to bring that out in a way that's extra engaging
Yeah.
and fun for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes it more fun for me, and it allows me to do these things that I would be too scared to do otherwise. You know, so that's why it's so helpful for me to have that sort of separation. And I do agree that it's helpful on the other side too, like just for me to be able to be a normal human being and not have to be that public figure every hour of every day.
Right.
But I also loved. Okay, so you don't ever overdub anything.
Yeah.
It's always the real deal. Exactly how you performed it. That's what we're hearing.
In a couple of videos,
Yeah.
some of the older ones, I cheated and I did some overdubbing.
Oh, snap.
And in the comments, everyone's like, fake.
Really?
And people can sniff that out, even if they can't really tell exactly where the overdub is.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Yeah.
The audience is not stupid. They're really people watching the videos. It's just the feeling that they get. They feel something is a little inauthentic.
Yeah.
And they can tell.
Facts.
And so I really try to respect the audience in that regard. And also, it's just a fun challenge too to actually nail it in a real way.
Yeah.
So I confess that I have done that in the past, but I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. Dude, that's amazing. I mean, similar for me, I have always felt like the whole brand of what I do is that it's truly improvised and it's off the top. And then as I've gotten like bigger and bigger opportunities, the challenge is to like convince people that we should really improvise it. You know, like when I first got to go on the Ellen DeGeneres show, they were like, well, we could just give them the words in advance, right? And we just had to be like, no, do not give the words in advance. Like that's the whole thing, you know, because you can feel the excitement of it. And if I see it in advance and I have more time to think about it, like you say, the audience is very smart and they're very tapped in. And it's the subtlest difference in me and the way my eyes light up and the way my body is moving. Like the adrenaline is not the same and I can't fake that part.
Completely.
Yeah. So I relate to that 100%. And I actually, one time in one of our videos, I flubbed some line and we sort of like, we just scooted it. It was like a timing thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, it's cool. Like, let's just make me look a little better. Like, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
And we scooted it. And the funny thing for us was that little scooting of it created like an issue with the Premiere export that we didn't catch either. So it like extra highlighted that we scooted it. There was like an audio glitch at that moment.
No.
And so many comments just timestamped that and we're like, oh, I wonder what happened. Or like, oh, it's a punch in. Or like, oh, I wonder what he really said here. And I was like, oh no, like lesson learned.
Yeah.
Never again. Have you ever had anybody like as you've been able to do like more brand deals and partnerships and stuff like that? Have you ever felt any pressure to adjust the way that you make it or to fake things at all? Has that ever come into your world?
Well, not really.
Yeah.
With any of the sponsored things, it's basically, I didn't plan this, but the format works really well for promoting movies and TV shows and cartoons.
Hell yeah.
And so it just plugs right into the format and I do my thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But also I'm very particular when I do work with brands before I shoot.
Yeah.
this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Yes.
And then getting the all clear to go with it. Because once I shoot these videos, to reshoot is devastating. Because I'm doing so many takes, and then to have to change little... it's not just like, oh, can you actually just like tweak this a little bit?
Yeah.
It changes the whole choreography of it.
Yes.
I can't just do that sound a little earlier because then I'm going to have to cross my arms over here and I won't be able to reach it.
Yeah.
That's the strange art of drum comedy.
Yes, dude. So dope. I love it. And it's so cool that you're in a position where you can say, hey, this is what I do and that's it, And if you want to work with me, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I'll adjust if you want to work with me. I don't know.
Oh yeah, to all potential sponsors, yes. Josh Harmon is flexible. Okay, just if you have a big bag ready, at least you want to hear the conversation. I'm sure you'd at least love to hear from them.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll have your partnership's email on screen. Dude, so dope. Okay, so I want to kind of just like for our audience take things back to the beginning. Mm-hmm. When did you start playing the drums, and how did the drums kind of come into your world?
It's been my whole life. My parents really encouraged me, actually, from a young age.
Dope.
The kind of apocryphal story is that I was 3 years old. My parents took me out to a Chinese restaurant, and I was in like a little high chair, I think.
Yeah.
And I just started playing around with the chopsticks, pretending to be a drummer.
Yeah.
My parents always had music on in the house and in the car, and it was just always a part of growing up.
Yeah.
And my mom sort of elbows my dad and says, oh, look, he's a drummer. He's a drummer. Our kid plays the drums.
Yeah.
And the next day, she took me to our local music shop and insisted that they give me lessons. And they're like, no, he's too young.
Yeah.
My mom was very persistent. She said, you have to teach him.
Wow.
And, thank God that she did that, because then I started studying drums when I was 3.5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And just never gave it up.
That's so dope, dude. First of all, shout out to your parents. I'm lucky as well that my parents have always been super supportive of my musicianship, but that's not always the case. So that's really cool. How did you reach the pedals?
That was I remember sitting at the drum set, or maybe this memory is like constructed from the stories that have been told to me about this moment.
Yeah.
But that my feet wouldn't even touch the pedals, when I was so tiny.
Yeah.
But I could still somehow play a little, like impress them enough that they would teach me. And I remember starting on the pad the way you do.
Yep.
And the sticks looking huge in my tiny baby hands.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's just always been something I've done. And because I started so young, it just got, linked to how I express myself.
Yeah.
And I've had so many amazing teachers throughout the years to whom I owe so much.
Yeah.
Who inspired me and exposed me to different things. My first drum teacher was this guy named JJ.
Okay.
Who... my parents they're two Jewish lawyers, like just the nicest, people. And I don't know why they let this man JJ into our house. He would ride up on a motorcycle, leather jacket. He had tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so different from anything else I was being exposed to in my life.
Yeah.
And he would go down to the basement and he would have me play along to Metallica, like hard rock, metal.
Fire.
I was 4 or 5 years old with this guy, JJ. And he really taught me all the foundational stuff. The rudiments, how to tune the drums, how to think about beats and constructing your own drum parts, how to play a song.
Yeah.
It was all of that kind of stuff. He didn't drill me on technique or anything like that. He made it really fun.
Yeah.
And from a young age, realizing that, this is fun. I remember I would even ask my parents for more lessons.
Wow.
Like, can we do another lesson? I want to learn more. I want to practice more.
Yeah.
JJ also, and I'll always be in debt to JJ for this, we would do this thing called the repeat game.
Okay.
Where you probably did this as a young drummer, but he would just give me something on the pad to play, a couple beats, little pattern, and then I would have to repeat it.
Yeah.
But then every week, it would be longer than the previous week.
Okay.
To the point where, and I was with JJ for years, I aged probably 4 to 10.
Yeah.
It'd be like minutes long. He would be playing something, and then I would have to repeat it right away.
Right.
And I had the neuroplasticity as a young person.
Yeah.
That my memory for audio became really, really strong.
Wow.
Like I could hear something and know it.
Yeah.
And that's because of JJ training my memory like that.
That's so dope.
And it really helps me now making the videos.
Yeah.
And also those older ones where I would play along to speech or comedy.
Yeah.
Memorizing that was not so difficult for me. And I owe that to JJ. JJ, by the way, I don't know where he is or what happened to him because when I was around 10, he just stopped coming to the house.
Really?
And I don't even know his last name. I don't know where he is.
Damn. Unannounced. He just didn't show up. And that was the end of that.
And that was the end of JJ. All I have of JJ is I have a drumstick that he gave me with his initials like carved into it. It says JJ. And that's it. The music store that we found like is closed. JJ, if like...
Yo, comment section. We need to find JJ or at least find out the story.
Yeah. If anyone knows a drummer named JJ from Millburn, New Jersey, I'm looking for you. And I just want to say thanks.
Dude,
yeah,
that's beautiful, man. Oh, dude, it's so important to have a teacher and a role model like that early on. And I think what really stuck out to me about that story is the fact that he made it fun. Because I think that's what so often that's the part people don't get right, is the whole like, well, first we're going to drill how to hold the sticks, and which is obviously important. You have to know how to hold the sticks, and then, you're going to have to learn these sort of like rudimentary technical exercises first and foremost before you can do anything else or before you can do anything that feels like music, or feels like fun. And so I just think, especially when you're young like that, to be able to play along with those Metallica songs and those rock songs and feel like, oh, this is actually something fun. This is rewarding in and of itself. And it's something that I'm going to want to keep doing on my own is so important.
Definitely. And I try to keep that spirit alive in the content that I make now.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that every video feels really fun.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of young kids love the content, which is awesome.
Right.
And so I want to show that music is fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things you can do with music or instruments.
Yeah.
It's not something that your teacher tells you to do.
Yes.
It's just a fun thing that you can do with your friends or do by yourself, and it makes you feel good. And that's a really important message to me.
I love that, dude. Yeah, it's not homework.
Yeah.
It's playing especially the drums.
The drums, yeah.
The drums are so physical, man. I was just like, I just remember as a kid, just like, my thing is I walked into a music store with my dad when I was so young that I was reaching up to hold his hand,
Mm-hmm.
And it's a super early memory. And there was drums everywhere. And I was immediately just like, I loved them. I just loved the way they looked. And I walked over to like the bass drum and, it's like this huge pedal. I have like a tiny little foot. And the music store guy like saw me looking at it and he was like, oh, you want to press that down? And I was like super shy and I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you got to press that down. Put your foot on there. And like my dad helped me get my foot on there and like he had to like push me down to press it. And it was just like, like through my whole body. And I was like, yes.
Good sound there.
Oh yeah, thank you. Feel free to incorporate that. Sample that if you wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, no, I was immediately hooked. Can we watch one of your early videos where you're playing along with
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would love to pull something. Sam, can we watch the Mitch Hedberg one?
Definitely.
Oh, that's vintage. This is I think the first or second one that I ever made. This is this is before I learned how to light a video, before I learned that you could just hang a backdrop up and that's easy to do. Before I discovered, maybe combing my hair before shooting.
Nah, you look great, man. This is what we want, man.
Yeah,
we want to get back to the roots.
Raw, yeah.
Before every pixel was considered.
Right, yeah.
This is where we're at.
Oh yeah, this is the second one I ever did.
Wow.
I like an escalator, man, because an escalator can never break. It can only become stairs. All right. There would never be an escalator temporarily out of order sign. Only an escalator temporarily stairs. Sorry for the convenience.
Woo! So dope, dude.
Yeah.
So great. Amazing. What are your thoughts when you watch that?
I've come a long way, I think. It's interesting watching these old ones.
Yeah.
And also funny because I still remember it. Like I just
really?
like, I had the timing still in my head.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so interesting to me to watch these old videos. And that's still the same room where I film in.
Really?
Yeah, I still do it in that same room. But yeah, I mean, Mitch Hedberg is just so great. And
yeah.
His flow, I'm sure you connect to that.
Yeah.
And I still use that same purple shirt, which is funny. So some of the things have carried through.
Amazing.
And I remember starting out trying to do this comedy thing.
Yeah.
In college, I was doing a bit of stand-up, and I was writing for the college satirical paper, and that's how I kind of got interested in comedy.
Yeah.
And then after college, I moved to New York City and was trying to get involved in comedy. and then the pandemic happens. And so
Right.
the original idea for the videos was to marry these two interests.
Yeah.
And I'd seen people online like MonoNeon,
Yeah. Yep.
David Dockery,
Yep.
these amazing musicians doing like speech and rhythm combinations, which were amazing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to approach it from a more analytical way of taking something that was mysterious to me. How do these great stand-ups speak in such a way and deliver these jokes
Yeah.
in a way that feels good?
Yeah.
You can even listen to it multiple times and not get tired of it.
Yeah.
Because if you just were to read out that Mitch Hedberg as a script,
Right.
it's not the same. It's a totally different thing. It's not even
Right.
that funny.
Right.
I mean, it's funny on paper still, but it's
Sure.
not as funny.
Not at all. No, I know. It's the same, dude. It resonates so much because like it's the same with a rhyme. Like if I wrote down the lyrics to a rap, which I don't do as much anymore, but I used to do all the time. I remember when I was young, I would write out my verse, and then my friends who I was making music with would be like, "Oh, is it done? Let me read it." And I always was like, "Nah, I'm not going to let you read it," because at least half, and probably more than half of the information in terms of what I think makes it good is going to be in the rhythm and the delivery and the timing of it. You know?
Yeah.
So to read
Definitely.
it is just a completely different experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that was why those early videos also did well. Again, talking about the audience being able to feel what's really happening,
Yeah.
consciously or unconsciously. I was just very interested in the mechanics of stand-up.
Yeah.
And this is an incredibly niche topic.
Yeah.
Who would ever care about that except for maybe a couple comedians or musicians? But I was just so into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, in that one, not so much. I've kind of got a scour on my face, but I think because I had genuine enthusiasm
Yeah.
for this strange thing and was doing this exploration of an idea, which I hadn't seen done particularly in this way before,
Yeah.
I think people felt that. And that made them
Absolutely.
curious too.
Yes.
And was a great lesson I learned early on in making content.
Yeah.
If you are genuinely interested and curious about something and want to get better at something,
Yeah.
this then is creating a narrative and a story that's happening in parallel with the actual content.
Yeah.
And people want to go on that journey. People want to see people level up. They want to
Yes.
see people get better. They want to feel invested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And a great way to create that feeling is just to make content or make art about things that you really like.
Yes. Yes. 100%. Dude, I could not agree more. It's like the brand, so to speak, is really just you and what you're interested in. And I think the passion is contagious. And in many ways, it's like the more niche the thing is, the better, you know, because no one told you like, hey, I think there's an opening in the market for drumming and comedy for drum comedy, right? That's not like something that a business advisor would suggest. That's something that could only be born from your unique individual passions and interests. And the fact that you care so much is kind of all that matters, you know, because that comes through the videos, like you say. And dude, I think it's amazing. I have so many things that I want to ask you about. Like, we won't have time for all of them, I'm sure, because we could have like a 2-hour conversation just about the technical parts of it.
Yeah. I love talking about all that.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, excited. Because as a rapper, like rhythm and language, obviously, that's what I do, and something that I think about a lot in the context of rapping, but not necessarily in comedy. And I think it's interesting because everyone will always say like, oh, the great comedians have great rhythm, you know, or great speakers even. It's like the rhythm of how they speak that's so important. And while I'm hearing that, like my whole life, it always feels somewhat like metaphorical, you know, or abstract in a sense. And then what you do is like you literally just tie the rhythm that I understand as a musician directly to what the people are saying. And so one thing I'm curious about is like, because you'll shift in and out of these, there will be these momentary time feels, like momentary grooves. Like in that Mitch Hedberg one, after the first kind of pause, when it comes back in, it's like you would never see
escalator temporarily out of order sign.
Yes. Yeah. So like, how do you find those grooves? Do they show themselves to you like when you're first listening to it? Is it kind of like an intuitive thing? Are you like looking out for certain syllable accents? And you know, is there a technical approach to finding those momentary tempos?
Yeah.
Or how does that work?
So yeah, watching these earlier ones, I was just kind of remarking at my expression because I can see how hard I'm focusing.
Yeah.
Because it was only the second one I'd ever done.
Yeah.
And in the later ones, it became much, much easier. As I did it more and more often,
yeah,
I became more practiced in this weird thing of hearing the rhythm in the speech. And it's really just about looking for the stress and unstressed syllables.
Yes.
So in that one, it's downbeats. Escalator temporarily out of order sign is the way he says it. So it's all on the downbeat.
Yeah.
And then that just creates almost like a click that you can work with.
Yeah.
And also Mitch Hedberg is a jazzy kind of character, and he's swinging his language a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a lilt to it.
Yes.
There would never be he just has a bit of a kind of a triplet going.
He's
to
funky.
It. Yeah, he is. He really is.
Yeah.
And he has that CD that he put out with the bass player voicing the one-liners.
Yeah, dude.
Which is so cool.
So good.
Yeah. So that's the basic entry point, is finding the stress and unstressed syllables.
Yeah.
And also just listening to it a bunch of times and letting your brain find the pattern on its own.
Yeah.
One way that I used to make these videos would be that I would loop a portion of the video or a portion of the routine, maybe like a 5-second snippet of it, away from the drums, and I would just have it in my headphones, and I would just kind of try to dance and let my body figure it out on its own and not try to intellectualize it too much at that stage. And then go back and analyze, oh, that's kind of cool. It's a parallel rhythm. He's talking in eighth notes here, and then again, when he wants to do a callback to the same rhythm, and think about it then. But for the actual discovery of the rhythm, to try to do it as much in the body as opposed to in the mind.
That's so fascinating, dude. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's interesting because for me, I developed this sort of like being a drummer has helped me as a rapper so much. And I developed this sort of intuitive understanding of like the implied rhythm from different words or where the accents and stresses fall when you're talking. But I never really thought about it or analyzed it until like years later. Like only maybe a few years ago, I started like teaching lessons and stuff on how to freestyle and talking to people about how it works. And people would ask like, how do you switch in and out of like the triplet flow, for example, but it always lines up. And I was like, oh, I just go to triplets. And I was like, well, actually not. It's not that simple, because if the flow is like dugga da dugga da dugga da da dugga da dugga da dugga da da, then it like my mind sort of is shaving off the things that don't align with that in terms of stressing. So it's like flowing right off at the top of the brain. Y'all know we killing it, props we gonna gain. All in the session, I'm here to maintain. Those sentences are coming to me because they have stresses in those places, right? Whereas if it was something that was like groups of 4, like I'm gonna get it popping in a second. To do that in the triplets, it would be I'm gonna get it popping in a second. And that sounds weird.
Right.
Because of where the accents naturally land. But it's just fascinating because I never actually sat down and thought about that necessarily. It's just those options don't occur to me based on whatever. So
it's intuitive for you.
Yes, 100%. I'm hearing the flow first. I'm like, oh, I want to do triplets. And then only the words that, and it's not 100% accurate. Sometimes I'll say something that doesn't fit, and that creates, and then it's like, oh, that was a cool polyrhythm, But yeah, it's only those sort of options show themselves to me in that moment based on those rhythms. But I'm fascinated by how you find it. So that's cool. It's a blend of an intuitive thing and also then going in and analyzing and getting a little more accurate and honed in with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Super cool.
If we were to watch like a later one, you'll see how much better I got at doing it.
Yeah.
Like if
let's pull one up. Yeah. What would be a good one?
Maybe, I guess one of the later ones that I did, like the Key and Peele, Key and Peele one is good, or even like Key and Peele Part 2 is really good. People may not have seen that one, which might be in shorts.
I got an idea. Feel free to say no. But can we switch seats? I will not take no for an answer.
Why?
That's the combat seat, Jonathan Livingston, CEO. If you're gonna be in the combat seat, then you got to be willing to blast up on some killing. Because with great power comes great responsibility.
Wow. Dude, that's so cool to see from the one we just watched to that one. So that's amazing.
I'm so much more relaxed.
Yes.
I'm just enjoying myself. I'm just listening to it. And it also, I did so many of these.
Yeah.
That it became weirdly very easy to do. I would hear it and just know it right away without even having to think about it.
Wow.
And this became almost strange in conversation with people.
Yeah.
I would be taken out of what they were saying. It was like, oh, you just went into like perfect triplets. Like that and then I'd be like, wait, but I missed what you said.
Yeah. That's insane. I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah. So sometimes you are distracted by the rhythm of the speech.
Yeah. And that didn't used to happen to me before I just really started making a lot of those videos.
Yeah.
But as I became attuned to it, it was almost like perfect pitch, but for rhythm.
Yeah.
I haven't made that style of video in a little while. So actually it doesn't happen as much anymore.
Sure.
Which is actually nice.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I was really in it, it was like I was sort of seeing the Matrix. It was really wacky.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. Are you aware of the rhythm that you're using when you're speaking, and does that ever distract you from what you yourself are saying? And or do you use it to your benefit? Like, okay, now because you have such an understanding of speech rhythm, are you like, I'm really gonna send this message home with the 16th to triplet? We'll do a little slow down here, and then.
Well, I'm not really sure how to answer that.
Hey, let's drop the beat.
I would say that when I've listened back to recordings of my own voice, I have kind of a strange rhythm to the way that I speak, at least to my own ears. I have kind of a herky-jerky rhythm. That's
Yeah.
But that's just kind of who I am. I have like just upbeat kind of personality.
Yeah.
In things that I've practiced, I've gotten really into the Moth, the storytelling thing.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I've been going to the Moth and telling stories.
Dope.
And really enjoying that. So something that I've practiced,
Yeah.
I really think about the rhythm. But just in conversation, not really.
Yeah. Except for now, right? Because we're talking about it.
Now
Now it's like hard to get the words out because I'm just paying so much attention to the rhythm.
Yeah.
It is like seeing the Matrix. That's so funny.
It is like seeing the Matrix. That's so fun. Like, yeah.
There we go. We got to collab on dude. We got to collab on something.
We got a collab. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna. I won't even say it. I'm like, oh, we'll send you the video before it drops, and then okay.
Oh yeah, that would. I mean, we've been scheming to collab for so long, and
Yeah.
we'll definitely do something.
Oh.
I'm excited. There's a million ways we could go about it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
We got a collab has been said to me a lot of times in LA.
I'm sure. Yes, that's all we say.
Yeah.
That's when you walk in the restaurant. Hello, sir. We got a collab.
Yeah.
What would you like to have?
My Uber driver said all the way over.
Yeah, we got a collab on this ride.
Yeah.
Also, here's my card. I'm a producer. Dude, I love it. Speaking of, okay, so you before getting into making content, you had a job with NBC, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that job. How'd you come about getting that job, and what was your role?
I was an NBC page. So if you've ever seen the show 30 Rock, I was just like Kenneth with the blazer and the whole thing. And it was really fun. It was a crazy first job. We worked insane hours.
Yeah.
7 days a week sometimes.
Wow.
Just doing anything. Can I get you coffee? Can I help? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience and really, really fun. Difficult,
Yeah.
but fun. And I got to spend time at Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
And see a bit of how that gets put together, and that was a really intense and cool experience of, you know, what a dream to just be able to observe that environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun thing, and that was when I was really comedy is my thing, and I let drumming sort of go a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, I was working crazy hours and couldn't really set up my drums in that tiny New York apartment I was living in at the time.
Right.
So had the pandemic not happened, I don't even know if I would have ever gone back to playing the drums in a serious way. Like I still was playing, you know, would enjoy, you know, jamming out on my pad or thinking about the drums. But yeah, it's just interesting how things work out. Because in that job, you work for a year, and at the end of that year, you're supposed to get placed at like a more official job.
Got you.
But the day that we were all supposed to get placed in my cohort was the day lockdown started.
Wow.
And so all of television got shut down.
Damn.
And then I had to move back to New Jersey with my parents.
Wow.
And just didn't know what to do. And I was maybe I should, I guess, start an Instagram.
Wow. That's insane, man. Yeah. That's so crazy. What was your relationship with social media like before that happened? Like before you started being a creator yourself?
Yeah, I didn't really have one. I mean,
really?
I had a Facebook page in high school, like to post my prom photos.
Yes,
you know.
as we all did. Yes, yes, me too.
Yeah, I just deleted that. But like,
congratulations!
It's gone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Erase it. Well, it's probably not gone. Totally.
Yeah, I know. But
yeah.
but I was never a social media creature, and
Yeah,
still
yeah.
am not.
Right.
Respect to people that are.
Sure.
But it still doesn't come naturally to me, honestly. I mean, I'm really good and I enjoy the game of creating content that's going to work
Yeah.
and optimizing.
Yeah.
And I find that to be something that I've, just like the way you can shed something on the drums.
Yes.
Something that I've shedded. This
Yes.
is a musician term.
Right.
Of like,
We'll put the definition on screen. Yes.
of, or
Killing.
just practicing in an intense way.
Yeah.
Like shedding the skills needed to succeed on social media
Yeah.
has been a really fun journey for me. But things like posting stories or selfies, I still don't do that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually why I created Garrett, the character.
Yeah. Shout out to Garrett,
shout out
by
to
the way.
Garrett.
I don't know if we were rolling when I was introduced to Garrett, but
Yeah.
yes, shout out. Garrett is also with us on this podcast.
Yeah, Garrett's my intern, and he's just so excited to see how a real podcast gets made.
Oh,
First
dude.
time in LA for Garrett. It's very exciting.
Welcome, Garrett. We're happy to have him, and he's contributing in many ways that aren't necessarily audible or visible, but they do matter.
Yeah.
The energy is felt.
But
No, dude.
yeah, just if I can break character for a second, which I don't
Please.
often do, but I show Garrett a lot in the stories. But if I'm someplace or with somebody,
Yeah.
just because it's easier to show the duck as opposed to take a selfie,
Yeah. Wow.
and was sort of the impetus for creating that character of Garrett.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. So all that kind of stuff, I don't post very often either, which is a whole other thing that we can get into for a number of reasons why
Yeah.
I post very infrequently, which is the opposite of what every social media strategist would tell you to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, the whole thing has been an accident. I just was curious about it and kept investigating,
Yeah.
kept trying, experimenting, getting better. And it's just happened on its own in a weird way.
Yeah.
This was never the goal. I was, I want to be a creator. I want to be a YouTuber. That was never
Yeah.
even on the radar at all.
Yeah.
So it's really funny how things happen.
It really is, man. And again, it resonates so much. Like, I'm the same. I had no relationship with social media. I also had the Facebook with prom photos. Like, I had maybe posted a few times on Instagram. I technically had it, but I didn't engage really. Like, I never commented on anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Or even, I didn't even understand how the ecosystems really worked, And it was the same for me. My first video was not on my own page. It was for my friend Jacob Mann. Do you know Jacob Mann?
No.
He's a great pianist and composer. We went to USC together, but he has a big band, and he had done this big band recording, and then he like chopped it up and sampled it and made a hip hop beat out of it and asked if I would freestyle over it. It was like meant to be like a creative piece of promo for his big band album. And so I did it as a favor to him, and it was the first time that like Harry Mack was on YouTube, and it was the video he posted, and it like randomly got 100,000 views overnight and was upvoted on Reddit and everything. And I was like, wow, like, what is this? Like when my roommate told me that the video was #1 on Reddit videos, I was like, what is that? Completely oblivious. And I remember I called him like a week after that had happened, and I was like, hey, can we get lunch? Like I have questions, And we just sat down, and I was like, dude, what do you think I should do? And he was like, I think you should make a YouTube channel. And I was like, cool. What's that? Like, how do I do? So it's like everybody else, I watched videos on YouTube all the time, but I was completely ignorant to the ecosystem of like creating a channel, even like having subscribers, all of that stuff was completely foreign to me. And yeah, like you, I fell into it and got really into it. And that what you said about shedding it and practicing it and learning it, and treating it sort of like a game and trying to build more skills, that's totally been my approach as well. And I'm actually amazed at how many people engage with it as frequently as they do. Like just the fact that there are so many comments on a video in the first place, because I was never one of them.
Yeah, I still don't comment. Like I don't know.
Yeah, no, right.
I mean, I
neither.
comment just on my friends' stuff when they do something awesome.
Same.
I want to comment. But it's cool to make something that people connect with so much that they want to they want to tell you.
Yeah.
And it's a nice thing. I feel like both of us have rather kind, subdued comment sections.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
I'm grateful for.
Me too.
Because it can very easily go the other way.
Yeah. It's actually like sort of unprecedented, the level of I feel very fortunate, like, especially as a rapper, like on YouTube, it's like my comment section is so overwhelmingly positive, and yours is the same. But I think it's the personality that you present through your content, man.
Well, and likewise. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. Okay. So kind of thrown into it. That's amazing. I read some of the interview you did with Business Insider.
Yeah.
When I was doing research, and one of the things that that really stuck out to me was, you talked a little bit about how when you were doing the job at NBC, and obviously it's it's this prestigious job, it's a huge opportunity. I'm sure it's very competitive to even be in that role, to have that opportunity, right?
Yeah, I think for the Page program, there's like cohorts of 20. I
Okay.
think they get 10,000 applications for those 20 spots.
Wow! So
Yeah.
you were one of 20 out of 10,000.
Yeah, I got the job because my application, I sent it in like an hour before the deadline.
Wow!
I didn't even really know what the Page program was. I just knew I kind of wanted to work in entertainment, and my cousin was like, "Oh, have you heard of the Page program? You should apply."
Yeah.
But I didn't really have time to fill out this massive application.
Yeah.
So I just put a bunch of joke answers in the form. And when I was in college, I made this documentary.
Yeah.
I majored in French literature, weirdly, which
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
whole other thing.
Wow, that's insane.
But I made this documentary about drummers in the French military.
Okay.
And it was a super fun, strange project that I did.
Yeah.
And there was this essay question that you had to answer in the Page program application. And I remember writing like, I don't have time to answer this question, but here's a trailer to a movie I made. That'll let you know like about me.
Wow.
And just sent that in. And I guess because the application was so weird, and they had like sarcastic, jokey answers for the rest of the questions, like
Yeah.
total. I was like, well, I'm not even gonna get it anyway, so I'll just whatever. And
Wow.
somehow it got through. So
That's amazing, dude.
yeah, French literature came in the clutch.
That is so cool, dude.
But yeah, the job I'm talking about in the Business Insider article
Yeah.
was that a couple months after the Page program ended, I got hired to work at the Today Show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you were actually working at, and what was your job at the Today Show?
I kind of did a bunch of different things. The main thing that I did was that I wrote the newsletter every morning for people
Yes.
who love the Today Show so much that 4 hours of it on television is not enough. They also need it in their inbox.
Yes.
And then I also would help Jenna, one of the hosts, with her book club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. All right. Amazing. So that was happening then during the pandemic? Was that?
That was during the pandemic, so it was all from home in my childhood bedroom. I'm like writing for the Today Show, and then, but that was a morning show. I'd be done with work at like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I can't go to sleep at 2, and there's nothing to do. It's COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I've got my drums. I guess I don't know. I make a video. That sounds fun.
yeah.
And so that was sort of circumstantially why it all started. Just I was curious and wanted something to do, and bored at home.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So at this point, it's the pandemic. You're doing the job with the Today Show.
Mm-hmm.
You're also making videos.
Yeah.
When does it come time for you to take the leap to leave the job at the Today Show and go full time as a content creator? And like, where was your mind at, I guess, going into that decision?
This was never even close to being on the radar as something that I would do this full time.
Yeah.
I had some pride that I had this cool job at NBC, at least for a time. And then that started to break down, which I talked about in that interview.
Yeah.
But it was I created the Ratatouille video.
Yes.
Which still is the thing that people are like, Ratatouille guy.
Yeah, we need to watch that
Yeah.
one too. We have that one queued up. We need to watch that. Should we watch that now?
Yeah, sure. This is really El Clasico.
This is the one, right? Is this the first super viral video from you? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the Rhythms of Comedy ones did really well.
Yeah.
And had moments. But this one, well, we could watch it and then I'll tell you about it.
Beautiful.
That should do it.
So dope. Amazing.
That's just your straight down the middle drum cavity.
There it is, baby. That's the that's the official, that's the quintessential.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
good.
this video, the idea behind it was that with the Rhythms of Comedy stuff, it was doing well, and also some of the comedians themselves were like sharing it, which was really exciting and
Hell
got me
yeah.
to make more of it.
Super cool.
And really exposed me to just how powerful social media can be.
Yeah.
But actually, for the Today Show, they had put me on an assignment to create a story about meditation.
Really?
And so I was going to meditate every day for 30 days and then write this piece for the show about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's because of that, but it happened during that period where I was, and I had never meditated before.
Yeah.
And then I was meditating really intensely for 30 days, like 45 minutes a day.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm on 20 a day. 45. That's a lot.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was TM. So like twice a day.
Okay.
For 20 some odd minutes. Like,
got you.
And it was during that period, I had like in the middle of the night, I woke up like with a start and a gasp. And it just was like, oh my God, all the videos are in English. They all have words.
Yeah.
I have to remove language.
Yeah.
That way, anyone in the world can watch it. And I bet the videos will do better.
Yeah.
So then my mind's racing. And how can I remove word? What kind of comedy doesn't have language? Slapstick, I guess, but that's kind of strange.
Right.
Physical comedy. Well, I love impressions.
Yeah.
Impressions have such a magical quality. When someone's voice sounds like something else. What if I did impressions on the drums? What if my drumstick could sound like a whisk or something like that? Oh, sound effects. Got it. And so this is at 2 a.m. I'm like in bed and like, okay, I've got this idea. And then I wake up the next day. I like speed through my Today Show work and I go and make this video. I take a clip from Ratatouille, just like, I love the movie. Everyone loves the movie. This would be a good one to try.
Yeah.
Just not really thinking that much of it. Just sort of like, oh, I wonder if this would work.
Yeah.
Never seen this done before. That's a cool thing. Well, let me try it.
Yeah.
And also, right before that, I remember thinking I had made like 50 of the Rhythms of Comedy videos and being like, this is a good project.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Really? Yeah. Put a cap on that.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
And then I made this video and I posted it. And the feeling, I guess, is sort of like buzzer beater, full court shot, like without even, like no look, just huck it. And it happened to go in.
Yeah.
Like just perfectly in. And I posted this video within like 2 hours. It was already over 10 million. And then like within a day, it was the #1 trending video on YouTube. It was #1 on Reddit. It was like tens of million on Instagram. It was just everywhere. People reposting it, hundreds and hundreds of notifications coming in that this had been shared, reposted by this person, this person, this person.
Insane.
Just totally nuts, bananas.
Wow.
And it was only until then, like it was then when I said, okay, maybe there's something here that's even more than what I thought.
Wow.
It was very overwhelming too, that
Yeah.
moment. And I'm sure you've had many moments like that.
Yeah.
It was my grandma, who's 98.
Yeah.
I love you, Grandma.
Shout out to Gramps.
I called my grandma just to kind of process what's going on.
Yeah.
Because also, it's just numbers on a screen. Like, what the hell are we even looking at? What does that mean?
Right.
100 million view. Like, what?
Yeah.
100M.
Yeah.
It's just like pixel. What is that?
It's crazy. It's too much to, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I called my grandma. I said, Grandma, I made this video. I think a lot of people have seen it. And no nonsense. She was like, okay, make more.
Wow.
My grandma, she's never been on social media. She doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But she's got the street smarts. And she just said, said these words. She said, get busy and keep creating.
Wow.
My grandma. And
that's like one of those frames you see on Instagram to like motivate content creators, you know? Like, but
from like a tech bro saying that, but it's just like,
exactly.
Yeah. No, this is from my 98-year-old grandma. And
that's amazing, dude.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And I then really got the motivation, which was coming a lot from her more than anything else. Is just like, okay, I'm going to really put some effort. What does it look like for me to put effort really into this?
Yeah.
Because before I was kind of making the videos just for fun when I felt like it.
Yeah.
What is this? What happens if I really go for it?
Yeah.
And then things started to happen.
Wow, dude. I mean, first off, I just have to applaud you, man. It's so dope. It's so deserved. And I also think it's really valuable to get that push from somebody you love and who knows you and cares about you, as opposed to just feeling like, oh, you know, I have all this attention around me and it's about the numbers and I have to try to beat this number now. And you know, all of those things that do come into play as creators, which I'm sure you can relate to as well. But I think it's so cool that you got that push from somebody that you loved and cared about and actually knew you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're off to the races. You're going hard. You're actually putting your effort into this content in a new way. And that I think comes with its own challenges too, right? And one of the things I appreciate about you is you've been open in some of your other interviews about the mental health aspects of being a content creator. Can you speak to that a little bit, like what you've gone through in terms of maybe being overwhelmed by the content or getting to a point where maybe it's not bringing you the same level of joy that it was in the beginning? Totally.
I've had every possible issue that you could think of. I've got through it at this point.
Yeah.
It's very intense, especially when you're a one-man band making the content. It's just me at my drums and the camera, and there's no one else there.
Yeah.
It's a very intense thing.
Yeah.
Also, the pressure that I would put on myself to keep one-upping, make sure that each video is better than the previous.
Yeah.
That each one should go viral. And knowing that every time I would make something, so many people would see it, and so many people would comment and weigh in with what they think.
Yeah.
And maybe this video is the one where it's confirmed that this is dumb or that it's not relevant anymore.
Wow. Yeah.
All those thoughts come up all the time.
Yeah.
And still do sometimes. But
sure.
When I was really going tunnel vision and making these videos, these thoughts really started to kind of bubble up.
Yeah.
And it was really intense. And I ended up having this really severe panic attack while I was filming one of the videos.
Wow.
And had to just take a break. I couldn't be on camera. I couldn't make another one.
Yeah.
And I had also started a bit to resent the drums, which was terrible.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing I've always loved since I was 3.5 years old. This is how I express myself. This is my thing. This is how I blow off steam. This is how I relieve stress.
Yeah.
Why is this creating stress for me now?
Yeah.
When suddenly the thing that you love to do becomes how you're making money. I gave up the salary of the Today Show.
Right.
So now me being able to have an apartment or me being able to have experiences or do things that I want to do or support myself is dependent on how well the videos do.
Right.
That's such a crazy thing
because
a lot of times it's out of your control. Of course, you could shed it, optimize it, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But there's always that element of chance. You don't know.
Yep.
And when I started to feel this resentment towards the instrument, that was a big red flag for me.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to take a break because that was just very painful. It was like being in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Or a marriage even.
Sure.
That's how I would feel about the drums.
Mm-hmm.
And watching that relationship fall apart was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I wanted to save it. And the panic attack was, I guess, my body telling me that was the time to do it.
Yeah.
Quit making videos.
Mm-hmm.
No more videos.
Wow.
I remember I saw a therapist during that time, and I still see a therapist.
Yeah.
Very passionate about this. And I remember walking out of one of the therapy appointments going like fist pumping the air, being like, no more videos.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that was when I moved to New Orleans. So
yeah.
I was in New Jersey at the time, and I just knew that the best drummers in the world lived in New Orleans, and I love New Orleans jazz and that music. And I went there to be off social media and just rekindle my relationship with the instrument.
Wow. Dude, I mean, first off, I just want to give you major props, man, for recognizing the need to make a change and actually doing it. Because like I know how it feels to sort of be dealing with that pressure or that feeling that, you know, you have to keep doing something as a content creator. You have to keep feeding the audience. You have to keep giving people what they want or keep doing what's working, right? Mm-hmm. Even if it's not working for you. And that sort of pull and that, like, you know, you don't want to drop the ball. Like you created this opportunity for yourself. You don't want to mess it all up.
Yeah, don't blow it is always the thing that was going through my head.
Yeah.
And still, I often have this thought, which is not a good thought. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I really feel it too. You've got the momentum. You've got this opportunity. Don't blow it.
Right.
And it's not a healthy way to think. And it's very easy as a content creator to feel that too.
Yeah.
Because how many chances do you have to have that viral moment?
Right.
now I don't subscribe to that at all.
Yeah.
The only thing I believe in when it comes to social media is that good content will get distributed and seen.
Yeah.
It just will. If it's really good, and obviously what's good is subjective.
Right.
And you might, if you've made it and it's precious to you, you might think it's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
But if something is truly, really wonderful and has an emotional resonance, it just will get seen.
Yeah.
It just will. Even if it's not by that many people, but it will get seen by someone and it'll have an impact, and that will lead to other things. Like, just if the content is good, if what you're doing is good, if the message is right, it will work.
Yeah.
And so I guess don't blow that aspect of it.
Yeah. Right.
And that's where the emphasis is. And I try to remind myself of that all the time. It's still something I work on. I still get anxious every time I upload.
Yeah.
I call it upload day, and I clear the calendar. And I have people that I text, like in a little group, like on upload day.
Yeah.
And we're all creators and we support each other on upload day because it's so stressful.
Yeah.
It still, I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times and still it stresses me out. I sweat. I get so nervous. I'm triple proofreading the caption. All this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I always 5 minutes before upload, I re-export V3, V4.
Yeah.
Oh, this has to be a little louder. Is the music too loud? V5, V6. I'm just I have a full tweak every time.
V7 for real this time.
Yeah, V7 final. V8 final. Color corrected final.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And so, also having a community is really helpful. Friends.
Yeah.
Genuine friends who are not just trying to use you or any
right.
People
not networking. It's not right. People who care about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have people, every time I upload a video, I call them like, okay, it's up. And they're like, good. And we just have a little 30-second moment. And it's really helpful to have that.
That's beautiful, man. This is so important to talk about too. And I'm sure some people in our audience are creators themselves or have aspirations to be creators. And I think these are the things that are maybe not so obvious, when I see your video and you're smiling big and you're doing this amazing thing, and it has 100 million views and people are loving it and it's spreading so much joy, that sometimes does come at a cost. And there are things that you have to deal with as the creator behind the scenes that people might not be aware of. So I love that you're open about that. I love that you advocate for therapy for creators in particular.
Totally.
Dude, I think it's super important. And I think that whole thing of don't blow it, it's like, if you're not happy, you've blown it.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's good. Yeah,
it's that's I can't think of a worse version of blowing it than doing something that you don't want to do because you have to do it so that you can pay rent or whatever. It's like that's why we get into doing something creative so that we can be in control of our lives and do something we love doing, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important, man. Well, dude, this has been such a fun conversation.
Wow, my God, that flew by.
It has flown by.
I feel like we were just getting into it.
I know. Well, we're going to have to extend the format to 2 hours.
Yeah.
We're going to have you back.
I would love to come back.
Dude, amazing. Super stoked on everything you're doing. Everybody make sure you check out Josh Harmon. We'll have all your links up and everything. I've been loving seeing the collabs. I saw that with you and Benny Blanco.
Yes. This is very exciting. We just did another one actually.
Really?
On this trip. He's what a cool guy.
Yeah.
And he's obviously a big deal.
Yeah.
But one thing I loved about working with him, he made me feel so comfortable right away. And I think that's really his secret sauce. He's just such a nice, genuine, generous person. Huge fan.
Dude, I love to hear that. And I know he worked closely with Juice WRLD, rest in peace, who was a great freestyler and somebody that was a big hero of mine. So shout out to Benny Blanco. So cool to hear that about him. And anything in particular that you want to plug or let people know about? Anything coming down the pipeline you want to mention?
There's a lot of things coming down the pipeline, but nothing I could really talk about just yet. So not really.
Okay,
but
nice.
There's definitely some exciting things. 2024. I'm quite excited about it, but it's not the time just yet.
Feel you.
But
Very
just
cool.
check out the videos and enjoy them.
Dope.
Send me a DM. I read them.
Amazing.
Would love to hear from you. Yeah.
Yes. Dope, dude. Well, we're super excited to see what you have coming down the pipeline, and we'll be checking for you. We close out every episode with a freestyle.
Oh, wow.
So just whenever you're ready, just spit your No, I'm just kidding. I will do a freestyle, and I'm going to sort of see if I can summarize some of the things we talked about. Just for fun, though, since you're sitting right here with me, do you want to give me a word or two?
Oh, this is like a dream come true.
Oh, amazing.
Okay. Just one word, any word.
Actually, however many you want, 2 or 3 is fine. Whatever you think.
You're a phenomenon today. Okay. Strawberry smoothie.
Yeah, strawberry smoothie.
And it's hard to think of just like any word.
It's way harder than rapping for me too. Whenever another rapper's like, "All right, you throw me words," I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't think of anything."
Yeah, strawberry smoothie. I brought my spoons, which I always like to play.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So spoons.
Dude, yes. Wait, can you play the spoons? Like,
yeah, I can play.
Can you hold down a beat on the spoons?
I can hold down the spoons. I brought this just in case this might happen.
Wait, let's just. Dude, can I freestyle over the spoons?
Well, yeah, we could also have the beat, and I can spoon along with it.
Spoon with the beat.
Let's see.
Snuggle up with that beat.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's see what we could do. So, I'm down to do full spoons and rap, but let's hear a little bit of this beat, and then you let me know if the tempo is conducive to spooning.
If the tempo is conducive. Yeah. If it's spoonable. It's kind of lo-fi.
Yeah, it's a little bit of lo-fi spooning.
Oh, if I had brushes, I could really get into this.
Oh, I don't have mine here.
Oh.
Hey. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Check it out one time. Yeah. Check it out one time. Yeah, I'm a freestyle alien, I'm a rap Martian. Mack live collab with Josh Harmon. If you didn't know, then you about to know soon. We be banging beats, rapping, and he's playing the spoons. Yeah, spoonful of sugar, spoonful of honey. Shouts out to Howlin' Wolf, we gon' get the money. Original blues, y'all know I make them pivotal moves. Each and every time I'm spitting at you, I send it through. It's never out of reach. I be breaking down the rhythm of the speech. From the triplet patterns coming right off the dome to the 8 notes we getting in the zone. We gon' find the proper rhythmic connection. I spit in all directions. For these moments I be feeling affections. We got the spoons holding down the polyrhythmic appeal. I ain't never faking, every time I'm spitting it's real. Y'all know what's good. I spit them off the head words. Perfect timing like my name was Mitch Hedburg. Y'all better pay attention, cause I feel the raps right through me. Animated like it's Ratatouille. Y'all know we about to hit 100 mil plus. Yeah, every time I spill plush. Lyrics right up off the tip of this, we getting it done. My heart is sold a couple places that I'm spitting it from. Yeah, and I know all of the rap fans in love with us. Yeah, much love to the rubber duck. Yeah, y'all know I spit them flames. One more time, can you remind me the duck's name?
Garrett.
Yeah, wait, Derek?
Garrett,
my mistake, now I'm embarrassed. Hey yo, Garrett, I hope that you forgive. Live off the top, speaking on the way we live. I'm bringing it when I be doing this, nobody can control me. Adding sound effects when I rap just like it's Foley. I open the door to opportunities. Yo, who's the illest off of the dome? I guess we soon to see. Lyrics go correct, boom, pow. Wow, onomatopoeia when I'm getting loose with the style. Y'all know the message of this podcast is clear. Peace to all creators that's overcoming their fears. Yeah, we about to take it to a new plane. We speaking on mental health and opening our brain. Yeah, y'all know we be painting a picture about the mental health, we breaking the stigma. So much we go through as creators to let the people know what's going on. I feel it's major, and y'all know we be blowing up eventually. He had a real big job up at NBC. Yeah, but y'all better believe me straight. Yeah, he decided he would take the leap of faith, pursuing the dream, spitting it clean. Y'all know what I mean when I be coming right up at the top of the mental. I'm shining just like the hot beams, doing my thing live. Y'all know they feel the MC. I bring the rhythm like the spoons as they smack the knee. No, once again, this collab is overdue. Smiles on their faces, plenty of joy we sending through. And they dig the way that I spit flows. And when it comes to detail, my man's checking every pixel. Gotta have it correct, this is the content rebirth. He's standing out with the red t-shirt. And yo, the purple and the black backdrop. I be getting busy when I rhyme off top. And y'all know the deal when I spit, it's about to go crate. Josh Harmon and Harry Mack, this is Flow State. Wow.
Oh my god, you are unbelievable.
Thank you, dude. That was so fun, man. The spoons were the perfect. We need that. They need to add that to that beat, man.
Oh man, wow. I couldn't even focus on doing it because I just couldn't believe what you were saying. That's so good.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, dude. Josh, really a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate you, man. And let's do it again sometime.
Oh, for sure. This was a blast.
My man.